Hi everyone, I'm Victoria, writer and editor. With NaNoWriMo winding down, a lot of writers are starting to think about editing, some perhaps for the first time. So I thought I would take a moment to discuss the absolute basics of the editing process. I'm going to talk about the different phases of editing and what's involved. So I'm not really discussing how to edit or what you're looking for specifically within the prose. First things first, you've finished your first draft, you have spent months working on this, living with your characters, putting your heart and soul into this manuscript. You finally type the end and you are ready to get into editing. Don't do it. I learned this the hard way and I fought it every single time. But your manuscript needs time to rest. It needs to take a nap. It's been a long few months. If it was a nano manuscript, it's been a really long month. That poor thing, it deserves a break. Give your draft at least a month to rest, to recoup. This time is important for you to detach from the manuscript. It'll help you to edit more objectively, and it'll help you to forget all the things that you think you know about your story. If you remember anything at all from this video, remember, let your manuscript rest. And when you get the urge to type the end, immediately scroll back up to the beginning and start editing. Don't do it. Okay, so your manuscript has rested at least a month. You're ready to look at it with fresh eyes. Where do you start? It's important to start with high-level edits first. That means you're going to start with things like character development, plot consistency. With my editing services, those high-level edits are going to be the manuscript critique and developmental editing. At this stage, you are not looking for typos, you don't care about sentence structure. Resist the urge to fix those little things. Keep your mind completely focused in on the big picture. You want to look at storytelling, the overall arc of the narrative. The reason we do this is because these types of edits often result in structural changes. So you don't want to spend days, weeks, months doing close line edits or even proofreading only to cut sections. You've made your structural changes, you've filled in all your plot holes, your characters or how you want them. Now we're going to go in and look at the actual flow of the prose. This is going to be line editing. The focus here is on sentence structure, paragraph structure. Line edits can be very time-consuming, but don't rush through them. This is extremely important for the overall flow of your work. This is a great place to print out your manuscript. You catch things with a physical copy that you may miss on the computer. Grab a colored pen, I usually opt for blue or purple, and really dig into that manuscript. This is not where you want to be gentle. Remember, this draft was vomited onto the page. Remember all those nights that you stayed up until 3 a.m. to get your nano word count? Yeah, don't be afraid to cut. Your line edits should result in a loss of words. If you're adding words, you need to really look at it and make sure that that is what you need to be doing. Now, I know some people, especially more analytical minds, have been known to write the first draft almost like a script, just very bare bones, and then they fill in details during the editing process, but most of us do not work like that. Most of us just pour our first draft down, and then the editing process is where we cut and refine and chisel away the extra words. Okay, you're finished with line edits. Now you're going to go into copy editing and then finally proofreading. Now, copy editing is very similar to line editing, but copy editing focuses on the technical aspects of the prose more so than the flow. Think about the editing process like a funnel. You're going to start very high level, looking at the broad aspects of your manuscript, and then you're going to slowly narrow your view. You start at the structural level, and then you go down to the paragraph level, and then to the sentence level, and then finally to the word level. Don't think that each of these types of editing has to necessarily be a single pass. You may do one pass of developmental editing, you may do 2 passes of line editing, and 4 passes of proofreading. Although we have one basic process that most people abide by, there is no exact set process that each writer follows, because each writing process is different and produces a different manuscript with different needs. Even the same writer may need to follow different editing processes for different manuscripts. So much of editing is really just practice and finding out what works for you. So once you've gotten through all of your different edits, that's when you send it out to beta readers. Get beta feedback and then edit based on that feedback. Depending on the manuscript, that may be one pass to clean up a few things. That may be starting over with more developmental edits. Once you've edited based on feedback, and depending on your goals for the manuscript, that would be the point where you would look at hiring a professional editor. So that's the editing process in a nutshell. To recap: draft, rest, developmental, line, copy, and proofreading. And that's it. You're done. Easy, right? I hope this was helpful. If there are specific aspects of the editing process that you would like to know more about, leave a comment and I will make a video about that. So tell me in the comments, what does your editing process look like and what's your biggest challenge while editing? Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.